Hey, my name is Jason Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I want to talk about Labour's tax bombshell that they potentially got lined up for landlords. There's some shocking stuff in here. And some of you have said in recent videos, don't you have any good news? Well, I'm trying to get some good news out for you, but unfortunately, this is not good news. I think you should watch this video if you're a landlord, you want to be a landlord, and if you're a tenant as well. I think you should really understand what's going on because this is going to impact you. And my belief is that you'll see rents significantly rise off the back of this. And I also think that you'll have less properties for sale. I just made a video yesterday where I talked about HMRC have interviewed and surveyed thousands of landlords and found out that up to 33% of them want to quit. The private rental sector hasn't grown since 2016, but the population has grown by 3.6 million people, and that's causing a housing crisis. Now, if those landlords do all leave, 33% of what you've currently got, and our population continues to grow, you're going to have a real mess on your hands. So I think it's good to understand what's going on, but also if you are a landlord, it doesn't necessarily mean you should leave the market because you can still buy properties, add value to them. You just need to be a little bit more educated and really understand what's going on. Now, if you're new around here and you haven't done, do make sure you subscribe to the channel over there. We've got new property content every single day, sometimes twice a day at the moment. There's so much going on. And let's get some more views on this video by smashing like, tickling like, doing something to that like button. That really helps with the YouTube algorithm and really helps the channel grow. So thanks to everyone that does that. So, not good. It's not good. I can't beat around the bush here. I'm sorry. But the Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, has got a task on her hands at the moment. There's a budget deficit in the UK, meaning we're spending more than we're taking in via tax, and they want to get that sorted as quickly as possible. Now, it's quite difficult for them to tax certain groups of people. You saw when Labour took away the winter fuel allowance, the uproar that caused. Nearly 100% of the population agreed that that was something that shouldn't have happened. And now they're doing a U-turn on that. They've got to now take that money off somebody else to balance the books. And so they're trying to reduce the deficit. And ultimately, landlords are an easy target. They're not popular. And so if you tax landlords more, then you're not going to get much backlash from your voters. And that's true. But what the consequences are is that lots of landlords will leave the market. And so this, what I'm talking about here, is after HMRC already interviewed thousands of landlords and found 33% of them are considering leaving the rental market in the next 5 years. And we've already got a rental market that hasn't grown in 9 years. And so that is a real big consideration here. So where are Labour looking to get more money out of you if you're a landlord? First thing they're looking at the moment, and this is being considered, is capital gains. Now, some of you that watch these videos will know that in the last budget, they didn't increase capital gains. They did increase stamp duty. And some of the more cynical people in the comments believe that they didn't increase the capital gains at that time to allow some people to get out of the market, to just give them their exit that they want. Then there will be some capital gains on that, but it won't be as high as it could be. So that could be true, and they could be now re-evaluating, do they want to increase the price of capital gains in order to get more money out of people? Now, capital gains is something that is not massively popular, but it's not going to change the electorate that much. Inheritance tax is something that does cause a lot more controversy because there are people that can't even keep their family home because they get such a large tax bill. Capital gains, though, is all about profits somebody has made selling a property, and it's not through inheritance necessarily. So capital gains is something that they are looking at. What they're also looking at is higher tax on rents. So higher tax on rent. So how could that happen? Well, the Telegraph had an article this week and they broke down what they think is being proposed at the moment. And so this is what they're looking at. They are saying that anyone that makes a profit from 12,570 to 50,270 would get taxed on top of the income tax that they already pay, in top of any corporation tax, on top of any tax. They're saying that they would get taxed an additional 6%. That's crazy high. Like, landlords pay a lot of tax already. In the last video I made where I talked about landlords quitting, 63% of landlords make less than £20,000 profit per year. If you want to tax them on that, then you want to charge them 15 grand to do an EPC upgrade, you're just going to mean 50% of landlords quit. It will be crazy. So that's not great. Now, above 50k, so 50k or above, it would drop to 2% for some reason. That doesn't really make sense to me. Normally it goes up. So yeah, maybe in the Telegraph article it's not very clear. Maybe it's 2% on top of that 6%. But how I read it, you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Maybe I'm wrong. Sometimes I am. That it would drop to 2% above that much, above the 50k, which that doesn't make sense to me. Normally you'd look at taxing the people that are making more profit more. So anyone that can clear that up, that's how I read it. It looks like that's what they're looking to do. So that's one thing. The next thing is absolutely insane if they do this, and that's to charge VAT on rent. VAT on rent, value added tax. Value added tax is 20%. So if they do this one, trust me, rents are going to absolutely rocket. So 20% tax on rents would be totally madness. Like, because if you did that, that cost will just get passed on. So I help train a lot of small business owners and I do marketing. I've got a marketing agency for people who are interested, and that's called Digital Marketing Desk. If you want to check that out, do. And so VAT, so a lot of businesses, they get to it's 80k roughly, £80,000 roughly, the VAT threshold. And then when they get to that, then they just charge more to their clients. So if they had a £100 invoice, it goes up to 120. They can't just reduce the income that they get by 20,000 by 20%. So let's just say you charge £1,000 rent. Now you've got 20% VAT on that. You're going to charge 1,200. The landlord isn't going to take 200 less every month because they're already losing money with Section 24, EPCs and all these other things. It just means the rent's going to go up to 1,200. That's going to hit people massively. We just had a year with 10% increase in rent. If you put VAT, I honestly think it will be the straw that breaks the camel's back. It's the worst idea I've ever heard out of a government. And I think if you see that, you might think, should be like that. There's lots of industries that are VAT exempt, and rent should be one of them, because that cost will get passed on to tenants and you'll see absolute carnage. It will be crazy. So these are the things that Labour are currently looking at in order to get more money out of people and out of landlords. Now, I think that it's fair to increase taxes on people that are doing well, but landlords have been hit with EPC upgrades, they've been hit by Section 24, they've been hit by higher interest rates, and they're getting hit by the Renters' Rights Bill. There's four massive things that are already, without this stuff, without any of this, are making 33% of landlords look at selling their properties in a rental market that hasn't grown since 2016. Scotland pushed out lots of landlords, and you get properties in Scotland that get 200 people view one property. You could have the best credit rating, the best job, be the best tenant in the world, and you could really struggle to get a property in Scotland. And I think that could start happening more and more in England. I'd like to know what you think about this. maybe from a landlord's perspective, a tenant's perspective, or maybe just an insight that you've got. Maybe you own a property on a residential basis. What do you think about this stuff here? Do you think it's fair, right? Do you think they should do it? Do comment below, do smash like, do subscribe, and make sure you check out all the other content as well on the channel, including this video right here.